Hello and welcome to M&M Mindset and Muscle episode 4. Today we are going to be doing a full day of eating as requested by a lot of you. This is by popular demand. So walk with me through the day and you will see what it takes to fuel these gains going into our Pro Card push for next year. Check it out. All right, we will start off the day with meal number 1, breakfast time. We've got 2 whole eggs, 12 ounces of egg whites, some spinach, and we will shred up a potato. Representing here the PJs, the baby bump picture. Absolutely love this shirt. Wife made it for me and always inspires me when I wear it. So anyway, we'll start off with a little nonstick spray in the pan, crack in the 2 whole eggs, pour in our 12 ounces of egg whites, and then I'll just sprinkle a good sized handful of spinach on the top of that. That will start to wilt as the eggs cook, and once the bottom of the eggs is cooked, I'll just start to scramble the eggs up in the pan, chop it up with the spatula, and it makes a nice little egg and spinach scramble. So absolutely delicious. We'll season that up with a little salt and pepper. For those of you who notice, my egg whites are in fact egg whites. It is not an egg substitute, it's an egg white substitute, so it is 100% egg whites. And then they add just a little bit of guar gum and turmeric for coloring just to make it a little bit thicker. I like the texture better that way. You can use just regular old egg whites as well, whichever you prefer. So once we have that cooking, I'll go ahead and shred up the potato nice and fine, and this will make a delicious, crispy, low-fat hash brown that we chop up inside of our eggs. So absolutely delicious. Now, one thing to keep in mind as I go through this video is this plan is set specific to my goals. So depending on your muscle mass, your activity level through the day, the intensity of the training, and the goals that you have, your nutrition plan will look differently. So don't think you can just copy this plan gram for gram to get the results that I'm getting. However, you can use this as a blueprint to kind of monitor your diet around. And for example, if you weigh 170 pounds, then maybe you do 8 ounces of egg whites instead of 12, and 150 grams of potato instead of 200. With a chicken and rice meal, maybe you just cut back a little bit on the portion sizes there. So again, listen to your body. It all depends on your metabolism, your muscle mass, your activity level, and obviously the progress you're making. That is the biggest key. Once you start to plateau, that's when we'll make adjustments. If it's working, keep it as is. So many people like to change their diet before they really need to, but you want to make sure that you're at the point where you need to make those changes. Now that we have the eggs off the skillet, I'll add a little bit more nonstick spray. We'll put in the shredded potato, chop that all up flat on the pan, and get it nice and crispy on both sides before we mix it into the eggs. So if you do have any questions regarding your nutrition, feel free to leave that down in the comment section below and I will get to it. And you can also reach out to me for coaching. The link for that is in the description below. But that is it for meal number 1. Shredded up potato hash browns, eggs, egg whites, and spinach. Absolutely delicious. I love the texture of the crispy potatoes with the creamy eggs as well. So here we go. Breakfast is served. Let's move into meal number 2. So this is somewhat a quick version of overnight oats. So we got the oatmeal, honey, natural peanut butter, raisins, cinnamon, salt, and whey protein isolate laid out. I will measure out 120 grams of oats in my big Tupperware container. I like to add a lot of water, microwave that up. It'll be kind of soupy when I pull it out, as I usually make this at the same time my potatoes are cooking in the stove. So I'll cover it up at the end and let it sit, and that water will continue to soak into the oats and make them nice and soft, nice and fluffy, and just delicious flavor altogether. So we've got our whey protein isolate in there once the oatmeal is cooked in the microwave. Then we'll add in our raisins, a little bit of raisins, a little bit of raw honey, a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of salt, and stir that all up. And and also some natural peanut butter there for the healthy fats. Just about a tablespoon there, 16 grams to be exact. And that will be meal number 2. Super easy, super simple. You can make this as overnight oats if you prefer. I prefer my oatmeal still a little bit warm, so the way I do this works out perfectly for that. But since I do cover it up towards the end and let it sit, like I said, that allows the water to really soak in and make everything soft and fluffy. I hate hard, chewy, dry oatmeal. So if you don't like oatmeal, I highly recommend you give this a shot. I used to just drink the protein as a protein shake and then make the oatmeal separate, but putting the protein powder actually in the oatmeal gives it a nice, sweet, flavorful taste as well. That makes the oatmeal part that much more enjoyable, and you can enjoy it as a much more filling snack rather than just drinking your calories in the form of the protein shake. If I get to a point in the off season where I'm tired of eating food, this might change, but for right now, this is a wonderful way to enjoy a nutritious meal. Okay, we are moving on to meal number 3, which is going to consist of jasmine rice, lean ground beef, that's 95% lean ground beef, and then a little bit of ketchup, mustard on there, and some pineapple, and then I'll add a pickle at the end as well. But pineapple I absolutely love. It was a big favorite of Lee Haney, 8-time Mr. Olympia, for its anti-inflammatory properties and the digestive enzymes in it that help you to digest meat. So I like to have it with my red meat meals. But we'll go ahead and measure out 300 grams of jasmine rice. Once I get that set, I will zero the scale out and add in 200 grams of the 95% lean ground beef on top of that. Once I have that all measured out, I'll pop it in the microwave, get it nice and warm. And if you need to pack these meals, you can measure this all out in advance. I have prepped all my meals out in the past for a day, and it takes about 30 minutes, so not too bad. Add a hefty amount of salt because this is the pre-workout. You need that sodium for the pump and contraction. Add a little ketchup and mustard. Pop in a few chunks of that pineapple. This usually comes out to between 100 and 150 grams. Not too worried about perfecting that. And there you go. Now we move on to meal 4, the post-workout. And this is my low-fat, nearly fat-free Rice Krispie treat recipe. So basically it's similar to just Rice Krispie treats, but we use much less butter. And so it keeps the fat very, very low. So it's pretty much just the carbohydrates from the rice and the sugar from the marshmallows. So it makes an excellent post-workout nutrition meal to pair up with 2 scoops of whey protein isolate. So we measured out the Rice Krispies. We added in just about a half a tablespoon of butter, which is equal to about 8 grams of fat. And we're going to be cutting this into 6 portions. So you're looking at around less than 2 grams of fat per Rice Krispie treat. Get the marshmallows in, get them nice and melted. I like to make the marshmallows be a little bit toasty brown so they start to get that caramelized color. So I'll let it burn just a little bit. Keep stirring it though so you don't really burn it. And that gives it an extra chewy texture, a little bit of a crispy shell on the outside, and gives it that deep, rich caramel flavor that really takes the Rice Krispie treats up to the next level. So once your marshmallows are all melted, dump in the pre-measured Rice Krispie treats or Rice Krispies and stir it until it's evenly mixed. Once you got it all evenly coated with the caramelized marshmallow mixture, you're just going to take some waxed paper on the countertop and you're going to dump that whole mixture out while it's still nice and hot. Then I will just take a little bit of that non-stick cooking spray, spray it on my fingers and dab it on there so that I can pat it out into an even square without the entire mixture sticking to my fingers. By the way, I don't recommend scraping off the spatula with your fingers right away, as that hot sugar will stick to your fingers and gave me a little burn, but what the heck, live and learn. And so once you got it all patted out into a square, I will cut this into 6 even portions, and I will eat one of those big portions after each of my workouts. So it's enough for me to have one for each workout of the week, and then an extra one for the wifey to snack on as well, because we like to keep her included in everything. So today was Sunday post leg day, which means treat meal for meal number 5. I made some homemade lean burgers, some chicken wings in the air fryer, some air fried french fries, and some watermelon as our meal. So delicious little indoor cookout style meal. Absolutely phenomenal with that blackberry lemonade sparkling water. And then I also made blueberry and lemon poppy seed muffins for dessert to really bump up that carb load for the end. So I replaced the majority of the butter in the muffin recipe with Greek yogurt. It actually makes the muffins really moist, have a little bit of that tang, much higher protein, and much lower fat. Final meal of the day is that bodybuilding staple, good old chicken and rice. We've got 200 grams of chicken breast, shredded style, cooked low and slow in the crock pot. We've got the jasmine rice, we've got some broccoli, and a little guacamole sauce on top. So absolutely delicious way to end the day. So there you have it, my full day of eating. I thought I'd throw in what a treat meal looks like for me as well, since that makes the video all the more fun. If you have any questions on this nutrition plan or anything, feel free as always to let me know in the comment section down below. I will go ahead and put the total macronutrients for the day up here. This is an approximation as I go more off of the food I eat. I eat the same thing pretty much every single day, so I change the measurements of food, but this is an approximation of the macronutrients and calories for today. I'll go ahead and put up also what a typical workout day macros and calories will look like, as obviously without a treat meal, those will vary quite a bit, especially in the carbohydrates portion. The only variance I have on grow days, the days off from the gym where I'm recovering, is that I will cut back fairly significantly on the carbs, cut out about 100 to 150 grams of carbohydrates on those days, as I'm not using that energy in the workout and I don't need to replace the muscle glycogen so much. So again, this is all subject to change. I will keep you on pace with me along with the journey. Anytime we hit a plateau, changes are required, whether that's adding a meal, adding more protein, carbs, fats. You have to adapt and listen to your body. So thank you so much for watching, everybody, and I can't wait to see you all in the next video.